Welcome to Naptime Nugget number 67. One terrific tip to tame those toddlers. Toddlers are one of my favorite groups. I worked in early childhood classrooms with toddlers for over 15 years, and I absolutely needed to learn some skills because when I started my journey, I was very, very challenged. I would try and say no and don't do that and trying to get the toddler to just stop doing what I needed them to stop doing. And it didn't work very well. So over time, I amassed many different strategies as I went to the U of M, got my master's degree in early childhood, and worked alongside some really great childcare providers and early childhood teachers. My promise to you is that today, after only about 6-7 minutes, you're going to have an idea that you can go back and apply that is not only going to get toddlers to behave better, less of that hitting, kicking, poking their friends, pulling the hair of other kids, these behaviors that kind of can drive us bananas, less of those. And you will also at the same time be promoting their development. So how many of you think, toddlers some days? I mean, they're just brilliant, lovely, wonderful, amazing little humans. But we all have those days when we're working with toddlers because they never stop moving. They go, go, go. They express themselves with actions and emotions and falling apart sometimes rather than their words. So it can be one of the most difficult ages. Well, as I worked with toddlers and learned the strategies, I started to get some things that would work. One thing I learned that was helpful for me is to know that they're just scientists. Everything in their body says, do it. So they're really trying to figure out the world. Everything in their wiring tells them to test it, put it in its mouth, bang it, etc. So here we are, we're leading these early childhood education groups with toddlers, and we need them to come to circle time. So I remember trying, come on over to circle, come to circle. Come over and sing some songs with us. It's going to be fun. Trying things I thought that would really get them to go to circle. But the reality was there's things that work better. And one of those actually supports their development. So another way, here we are. Instead, we have it built in as a routine. We have are specifically conscious of what we're doing and decide to add some, I want to say, frosting on the cake. So the routine is the cake, and then you get the frosting, and then you got the sprinkles on the frosting, and all this helps toddlers be their very best and really promote development. Well, one of them is to create novel and interesting experiences. But this can be in a time that you find challenging. So here I am, I can't get the toddlers to come to circle time. So instead of just using words like I'm speaking to another adult or an older child, I use a song. So I say, come on over and stomp your feet. Come on over and stomp your feet. Come on over and stomp your feet. Stomp your feet together. And I start singing. And then I go, oh, what's next? And by now, all the toddlers have turned to look at me. I go, come on over and turn around. And I start turning around, singing the same song. And then come on over and clap your hands. And then at the end of the song, we would go, come on over and sit right down. Come on over and sit right down. Come on over and sit right down. Sit right down together. So what I did there is I slowed things down. I calmed my body. And after even one session, all the toddlers would just come over with us, smile, look at us, turn in circles, clap their hands, and sit down for circle. Well, this is a great way to get them to circle, but when else can you use it? So that's what we're going to look at in the next couple of minutes. How is this promoting development? Well, there's 3 basic things that toddlers need. They need affection. They need love from you, and you are their favorite toy. So that's one reason that as I'm giving them attention and getting excited about doing something novel and interesting with them, they want to come over and do it. They need security. They need to know I'm here as a base for them. So if they're having a challenge or if they're engaged over here, I'm going to help them come over and work with me. I'm going to be that base when they're clinging, when they're sad, when they're upset. I'm going to be there to help them through those moments. And when they need something novel and interesting, I'm going to provide that also. But the third thing toddlers need to develop really well is stimulation. Because they're scientists, everything in their body wants them to learn and experiment. They need stimulation. So how do you do that? Again, it's providing that novel and interesting experiences, getting in the toddler brain and realizing something as simple as a block that we see and know and understand instantly. They're still figuring out, is it solid? Is it squishy? Is it hard? Can you eat it? Can you throw it? Can you stack it? They want to figure out really everything that they can do with those blocks. So as you can see in this picture, she's providing something novel, something interesting. And look at how excited those toddlers are. Notice they aren't poking each other. They're not crying. They're not screaming. They're not falling apart. They're there. They're engaged. They're happy. Now, if this was something they're not interested in, they might be getting more where they're turning toward each other and they're starting to push or something like that. So just having this special thing. So one part of making this happen is to step back and be prepared. So novel, interesting. I'm not asking you to do more here. How about in the things you're doing in day-to-day life? So you're going to go have snack instead of, come on, we need to sit down and eat, which is what my adult brain says because it's on our routine. It's on our task list. It's something we need to do. Let's sit down and explore this food. So you sit down and you start playing around with the textures and things like that. And they're there, they're watching, they're interested, they're intrigued, they're excited, instead of screaming, poking, and those kinds of behaviors that really drive us crazy. So be prepared and have your stuff ready so that you can be down there with them to facilitate this kind of learning experience around something that they're doing. You don't have to do it all day, but if you pick one time in the day to do it, it works a lot better. So here's an example of how this adult is taking a reading book experience, a circle time experience, which you can do in small groups or large groups, even just one-on-one with a child, and making it novel and interesting. So I remember with my toddler, I was like, sit down, we're going to read this book. And she would try and get up and move around, and I'd just go, oh, I can't get her to sit. And I would just put the book down. You can get them to sit, but you have to follow their lead and see what it is that would be novel and interesting for them in the book. So watch how this adult really takes a moment to observe the child, figure out what the child might find interesting, and then follow the toddler's lead. Here we go.
He say, ooh, 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 good boy. But he was too naughty, so I sent him back. So they sent me a... What is that? A frog, Ella. And what does a frog do, Jonah? Can you pretend you're a frog? Let me see. Pretend you're a frog. Let's see. I'm sorry, Ella. Pretend you're a frog. What does a frog do? Does it jump? Frog, good job! You jumped just like a frog. And Ella did too. Yeah. You guys are both frogs. But he was too jumpy, so I sent him back. So they sent me a... What? Are you going to be a frog again? Let's see. Let's be a frog. Good job. Can you get all the way down? All the way down, Jonah. Go like this. Jonah, all the way down. Get down. You're a frog. Good job. Alice, a good job too.
Did you see? So she could have been like me and said, sit, you need to look at the book. But instead, she really followed the toddler's lead. The cool thing about this is toddlers really know what they need to learn. So when you're following their lead, they're getting more excited about the learning, they're into the learning, and more is going into their brain. Making it interesting. So do you want them to wash their hands? A lot of times toddlers don't want to stop what they're doing and go wash their hands. But how about if you make it fun? You can sing a song. I've sung the song before for that. But you can also get really excited about the bubbles in the water. What toddler doesn't like bubbles in water? So to me, it's like soap, wash your hands. It's a task. We need to get it done. But to a toddler, it can be an exciting, wonderful thing to try and make bubbles out of a soap. So again, you're just getting out of your adult brain and getting into that toddler brain so that you can engage them, really support their development, and also get them so they'll do things that you want them to do. So puppets, I get excited about puppets. Anything a puppet is doing, a toddler wants to do. If you want to get their attention, have the toddler start doing it. So even if I'm here and I want him to go to circle, I'll be like, oh, are you ready, monkey? Let's go to circle. And I'll start walking a circle and the toddlers will look at me and start following me to circle. Any kind of fun, novel, interesting thing can really engage that toddler and what you want to engage them in. So this is what I hear, but they misbehave when I'm busy and I have to get stuff done. I have to take care, especially some of you are in multi-age settings. You might have 10 kids on your own in your home. Hello, you don't have time to do this all day. Well, I'm going to give you the answer to what to do and how to use this when you just need to get stuff done in just a moment. I just want to call out that tonight we're starting that Taming Those Terrific Toddlers series. This is sponsored by Thriving Together that also offers these wonderful live webinars. So we kick off the Toddler 3-session series. You can take one or all. I know at least one of you is joining me tonight, which I'm so excited about. And the first one, why do they do that? We really look at toddler development, and as we're doing now, how you can promote that development and better behavior. And number 2, we look at setting those limits in a way that toddlers will actually just listen to you and follow what you want them to do. Sound good, right? Or number 3, once you do all that and they're still not behaving, what can you do? What are some discipline and guidance techniques that really work? Okay, you guys ready for the answer to the question? All right, here we go. The bin. I learned about this strategy and it works so well. You take something that toddlers really like, something that you found is really fun for them, and you put it in a bin and you put it away. And then in that moment, when you need them to really focus and get engaged, you take that bin out. It even works with children with extra challenges like autism or something like that. It's one really great strategy. So let's say you want somebody who won't wash their hands to wash their hands. It's first wash hands, then we get our bin. And you have this fun bin with something in it that's novel and interesting to them. Then they want to do the first thing so they can get to the second thing. Yeah. So get a bin. So here, for me, it was getting snack on the table. It felt like even if we prepared ahead and had everything cut and ready to go, it was still a time that toddlers tended to, they come over to the table, they sit down. If I don't have it there instantly, they start to push, hit, bite, something like that. So I love the idea of having some kind of bin that you open up that they can sit here and play just before they're getting their snack. So it gives you that extra time to get everything on the table. So that's just an example. You can also go in the circle time example. You could have a bag that had special stuffed animals in it. And every day you pull out a special new stuffed animal and they want to see which one is it going to be. I worked for an early childhood program that did that with a puppet, and you never knew what puppet was going to come out. And every single time the toddlers would come gather around. So there is our top tip for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember, when you work to promote that development, to meet toddlers where they're at and do novel and interesting things to get them excited about what it is you're doing, you keep them engaged and their brain builds brain pathways for learning. Not only today, but in the future. So keep doing your wonderful things, supporting those little toddlers, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Naptime Nuggets number 67 is done.